happening in the world today, in the world, in the whole world. A lot of different things going on. A lot of, wars, rumors of wars. We expected this. Uh, One guy asked me about, what's going on with the stuff that's going around hurting people. I don't really like to talk about it too much because YouTube already, they're already looking for me to mess up again. So I don't really like to cover those subjects anymore because YouTube is a business to me. It's a business because I make money on it, but I don't make a lot of money. You see, I don't ask you guys. See, I don't ask you guys for money. Hey, Star, I don't ask you guys for money. I don't ask you guys for likes. I don't ask you for anything, actually. But nonetheless, YouTube is a business. You know what I mean? So there's some things, guys, I'm just not going to talk about because I don't want to mess up my little income that I get from YouTube. It's little, but nonetheless, it's mine. And, I like it. I like the outlet because I don't get to talk to a lot of people um, very much. I live a very solitary life for the most part. And this is just one of my outlets. So I don't want to mess it up. So there's some things I just can't talk about with you guys anymore. And what's really a shame is that, my degree is in healthcare, and I like to talk about stuff in healthcare. I really like to get into those things. I like to dissect, if you will, some of the issues that are going on. But I can no longer do these things on YouTube. I guess what I'm going to have to create is a podcast. That's what I'm going to have to do. And you guys are going to have to be able to, you're going to have to field, give me some questions, and then I'll field your questions on a podcast. I guess I'm just going to have to make one. I have all the equipment to make one. I have plenty of subjects to talk about. But like I said, YouTube has dinged me twice. And they said, you can't talk about these things. If you do it again, we're kicking you off of YouTube. So I'm not going to even mention some of the things that I like to talk about when it comes to health care because of what YouTube has, because of the content restrictions. So there it is. But, other stuff, if you guys want to talk about, hit me with some questions or whatever. The last subject I was talking about was how to get out of the hood. I keep those short, and I'm trying to make another series that people can just go to from, back to back to back. And the reason why is most people's attention span lasts for about 5 minutes to like 11 minutes, depends on what the subject matter is. For people who want to listen to hour-long podcasts, 2-hour-long podcasts, there are some people you can do that to. But Beats by Tone. Yeah, I still do that. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna put up another one, and another Beats by Tone, but those are YouTube shorts. I did that just to put up a YouTube short because I never put one up before. So I'll put up another Beats by Tone probably in a few minutes when I go in the house. Right now, I'm chilling in my car. It's a beautiful day. My engine's running. She sound nice. So I said, man, I'm gonna chill outside. But yeah, I'll put up another Beats by Tone. And if you guys dig it, I dig it. You know what I'm saying? So, but these longer, when I'm on here longer, I used to talk for 2-3 hours, and then I noticed you guys would only listen to 5 minutes of a 2-hour. You know what I'm saying? Hey, what's going on? I talked to you guys for 2 hours, And I'd be like, I just talked to you guys for 2 hours and I made $0 off of it, because when when I end the broadcast, I look to see who else is listening to it, after that day, and people avoid it because it's too long. I've even had one person tell me that somebody said my stuff is too long. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm not gonna keep doing those hour-long casts because you guys aren't listening to them, other than the people who are already on. I do get a chance to talk to you guys. I appreciate it. But other than that, people won't listen to it. So I said, okay, I'm going to shorten it up, because I'm not making any money off of it. I have a better chance of making a couple cents. That's another thing too. So I may make 5 videos in a day. When I do that, it's because I'll make like 15 cents off of it in a week. So, you just do the math on that. You put out 5 videos, within the, next 3 days, and, you make 15 cents off them, you can start adding up what it'll be. And, yeah. And then they go by the wayside and nobody listens to it again, except maybe a year or 2 later, somebody will be like, yo, that was a real dope video. I'll be like, which one are you talking about? You know what I mean? And then I'll go and look at the statistics, and one person listened to it within the last 2 years. Like, that stuff really happens, and then I'll make a couple cents off of it. So a lot of this is for, a lot of times when I'm just talking, it's for people to come back and listen to it like a long, they're going to listen to it a couple years from now. Other than that, kind of like what's up with the world today, like what we're doing right now, is pretty much for those of you who want to ask me questions about something. If you want to talk about a particular subject, I'll sit here for 20 minutes or so, and we can talk about that subject, as long as it doesn't get me restricted off of YouTube. So that's pretty much that. But it can't be healthcare. Well, it can be healthcare related, but it can't be anything that have to do with the goings on, the subject matter I'm talking about. It can't have nothing to do with that, because YouTube is just, they warned me twice, and, I get about $100 off of YouTube every 3 months. I don't want to lose my little $100. I like that little $100. Oh yeah, they did. Oh yeah. Oh, there's most definitely. Like, listen. I don't. If I wanted to make more on YouTube, I know what to talk about. Sports and women. Yeah, when you talk about women or you talk about sports, you make more money. Especially women. You make more money because everybody wants to talk about women. It's just, women talk about women, men talk about women, women talk about men talking about women. It's just an ongoing cycle of the same stuff. And it's boring to me. Well, that cranberry juice, it's boring to me. I mean, how many times are we going to cover the same subject about, what a female is doing? Truthfully, I just don't even care that much what women are doing. I'm like, why? I'll tell you something that did kind of hurt me a little bit. It didn't hurt me, but it was disappointing. It was heartbreaking is what it was. There was a woman from Zimbabwe who was popular, and a guy that they all knew was a millionaire. And what had happened was, 3 of her friends, and him jumped into a Rolls-Royce Wraith Phantom, and it was beautiful. It was purple and white, African colors. And they went out for the night and had a great time. And at some point, uh, they got into a car crash. I think they struck a tree or something. That's what it looks like. And when they hit it, the car lit on fire. And the guy, I think his name is Jamimi. The guy, people saw it. They rushed over to the car. They saw the car was smoking, and they heard people crying for help. They pulled the guy out of the car. When they caught the guy and sister in his sister's room, and he talked to the news reporters and made a lot of money from what he said. Remember the guy who caught the guy? Yeah. Yeah, they climbing in your windows. Yeah. Hide your kids, hide your wife. Yeah, I remember him. And so anyway, they got the guy out of the car. They pulled him out of the car, and he was still alive when they pulled him out of the car. And then they went to help the females that were in the car. These three females, they were stuck. The three females were stuck in the car, and they were screaming, "Help us! Help us!" And what the men did when they saw these females is they reached in on both sides and was trying to get the belt buckles off of them while the car was on fire. And so the car is starting to get more and more on fire, and these women are screaming, "Help us, help us." But the way they hit, the impact of the car jammed the doors, so the doors couldn't open anymore. Even after the car had burned and it was all tore up, they still could not get the doors open, even after it cooled off and everything. Because when the car jammed, it pushed the doors back, and when it pushed the doors back, it just seized the doors up, so you couldn't regularly open the doors. And the seatbelts were they had them jammed in, so the girls couldn't get out, and they burned to death. And I was like, God, what a terrible. And I mean, and that really hurt, because I saw a video of this girl, and they was like, R.I.P. to this girl, and I was like, what happened to her? And I went on YouTube, and the video's on YouTube of what happened to her. I was like, that is a horrible, horrible way to, to die. So, that kind of messed with me a little bit. But yeah, they climbing in your windows. And he said, hide your kids, hide your wife, because they, doing things to everybody out there. I can't say the word because it dings YouTube. But yeah, I forgot what that dude's. He said, you are dumb. You are really, really, really dumb. Yeah, I remember that dude. I forgot his name, but he got lightweight famous. He was on some talk shows, and then he went, he had his little 15 minutes. He went on about his way, and yeah, Antoine something. You are really, really dumb. And then ain't nobody got time for that girl. The ain't nobody got time for that woman was seen that video. She said, ain't nobody got time for that. I got bronchitis. She was seen by a third of the population of the planet. She was seen by over 3 billion people. Just drink that in. Billion. That's a lot of views. And you can still look her up. Ain't nobody got time for that. Yeah. That's a big wow. That is a huge wow. And I didn't even know until she got on one of those talk shows, and they was like, well, and the lady was talking to her and said, yo, you got seen by, you have millions and millions of views. She said 3 billion. She just looked at her like, excuse me, I'm in the billions. And it's because of those white dudes came along and made those songs. Anybody got time for that? Anybody got time for that? Anybody got time? Anybody got time? Anybody got time for that? Yeah, she was funny. I got bronchitis. Anybody got time for that? She's in the hood. Hey, she out the hood now. She should be. Good grief. Could you imagine her YouTube checks? Sweet Christmas. Shoot. Massive YouTube checks. Listen, at one point, the most I made on YouTube was $600 in 1 month. That's the most I had made, and then it just went down after that. But that's the most I had made. I was like, whoa. And that's because I made a video called, she said, oh Lord, it's a fire. I got bronchitis, Jesus. Yeah, that's because I made the videos about Atlanta, why I left Atlanta. And I did it because I saw a woman had made a video about why she left Atlanta. And I had no idea that leaving Atlanta was a big deal, you know. There are a lot of people talking about leaving Atlanta. And now there's a lot of people talking about going back to Atlanta because there's a, I forgot what the name of the place is in Atlanta, but there's a little small town that has more property owners than anyone else in Atlanta. There's more people that own businesses and properties in that one small town. So they're getting, they're out there getting money, you know. Like, I'm a small businessman, so I understand the vibe of having a small business and the comfort and the struggle. So you can look them up. Well, she started doing commercials. She did a commercial for somebody, and you know, they don't last long because they're not TV people. Like, they don't transfer into commercials and then jump straight into, you know, all of a sudden they're movie stars. There are very few people who do that. Like Tyrese Gibson did that. He started off on a Coca-Cola commercial, and it was on accident. And then after that, he went and made Baby Boy, which wasn't the greatest acting in the world. It wasn't. But he had great support around him. You know, he had Taraji P. Henson around him. Come on now, Cookie. You know what I'm saying? He had Taraji P. He had Witherspoon. He had, Tiny and all those guys. You know, in LA, he had just a great group of people around him to help carry the movie. He had Ving Rhames and whatnot. Come on now. Come on, Ving Rhames. It's my dude. You know, when you got all these people who just know the drill, they helped carry the movie, even though he was kind of, one of the stars. And he ended up, of course, being bigger than all of them. Well, I wouldn't say he's bigger than Taraji P, but he might be. He probably got more money than Taraji P. Henson. And the reason why that is because of the Fast and Furious series. And, you know, and here's what I don't get about Tyrese Gibson in the Fast and Furious series. Why is he there? I mean, I know he's the token dark-skinned guy, but when you look at utility of everyone and what they do, he's not the technical guy. He's not the alpha male. He's not the gearhead. He's not the shooter. He's not the guy who beats you down. They call him a joker. But what does he do? He screams and tells jokes. Like, what? He's not really funny in the series. Don't get me wrong. I don't mind him in the series. It's just, I never really understood who he was. You know, I understand Letty. I understand Toretto. And I even understand the tech guy who is played by Ludacris. But I don't understand what Tyrese's role is at all. But who cares? He makes way more money than I do. You know, that's just that. That's how I first discovered your channel when I saw your why I left Atlanta. I had to hear why you left. A lot of people came and a lot of people have gone since then. I did like 27 videos on the differences of living in different cities in Atlanta. And, you know, I got a lot of hate. I got a lot of hate. I got a lot of people calling me, you know, a homosexual and all this other crazy stuff. And I was like, damn, brother, why I got to be, you know, they think that every man, you know, who goes to Atlanta is some type of homo. Like there are not heteros down there. And that's a real shame because Atlanta is filled with homosexuals. And you know, they think, oh, if you went down there, you know, you're gay. It's just like, no, I'm a very, very straight male and I'm happy about that. Uh and I had to let them know, look, I don't know that life. I have no idea what you guys are talking about. And you're not going to see anything on my YouTube videos or Facebook or nothing like to indicate anything different. But that's the mentality of people who think about Atlanta and or who live down there. Oh, if you were living there, you know, you were sleeping with men because there's a lot of down low men down there. And I had to remind these people, listen, I didn't see not one homosexual while I was in Atlanta. Now, mind you, this is 15, 20 years ago. But I didn't see any. I wasn't looking for them either. Because I worked. I just kept, man, I was down there trying to get money. I had 2 jobs back to back. I was down there working. I did not have time for the bull. So I don't know what you guys are talking about. And I love me some women, especially some dark-skinned women. I don't understand it. I don't understand you brothers. I'm like, boy, let me tell you something. Atlanta got some of the most beautiful women. It is, I cannot get it in my head. Brothers, why? Why be interested in a man when you have all these beautiful women? Oh my God. And I mean of every place on the continent that travels, you'll find all these women sometimes in one room. You can just take your pick. It is ridiculous. Oh my God. As soon as you hit the airport, it is ridiculous. And you know how you look at people on Instagram, you look at people on Facebook, or you see people in the movies and they're all glammed up and they're beautiful, and some of them are naturally beautiful. And then you look around and you don't see people who look like that around your everyday. Go to Atlanta. That'll change. You will see exactly what you see on Instagram, on TV, in the movies. You will see it. As soon as you hit the airport, I was like, I mean, I had to say something to these women. They were so cold. I was like, wow, you ladies are just gorgeous. I'm like, where your dudes at? You know what? They ain't have none. Ain't got no dudes. They did not have them. I'm like, where your men at? Ain't got none. It's almost a crime because these men are these men are interested in each other. And then another thing is, you can go to Atlanta and get yourself, you know, in a ditch real quick chasing these females because they look so good. They'll know and they'll play you. And next thing you know, you can have a gun to your face. Pure dot. You could be in the wrong place real quick trying to chase a skirt. And that's another reason why a lot of the females are alone, is because there are groups of females who are setting guys up because they're thirsty. And I mean robbing them blind right in front of them because they're extra thirsty. And when you're extra thirsty, you are a target. You got to chill. You got to let it come to you. But I mean, and this is what hurts other women who want a dude. So when you see all these videos and these women are crying because they can't get no man, I mean, these women are like, I look like this. There's a woman that has a video out now. And she's like, look at me, like I look like this, yada, yada, yada. And I have no man. Why am I sleeping alone? Well, you're sleeping alone because men are afraid. There are dudes coming up missing. There are guys who are not coming home. Never coming home. Okay, that's cool. There are men that are never coming home because they saw somebody who looked like you and they got their number. Like, yeah, we'll meet at this place. And the guy went to meet and he got robbed. And you told your brothers and your cousins you met a new guy. You said when you guys are gonna meet, your brothers and your cousins were just like, okay, cool. Well, guess what? They showed up. Yeah, they showed up. Even if you didn't plan it, they showed up and they took him for everything he had. And the guy had his pride, and boom, he's never coming back. And all three of you are accomplices. And you're all going to, doing 25 to life. This is common now. Yeah, that's why you women are alone. Don't cry about the men won't look at you. I seen one video where the girl was like, there are 5 guys in that car and none of them won't look at me. She was like, look at me. Look at me. She was just saying, look at me. She had a nice pair of knockers on with the low rise, whatever. She was like, she said they wouldn't even look at me. No. Mm-mm. And I was a white woman or something. She was something mixed with white, but no, because we know the drill. Yeah, we want what's in between your legs. That's natural for us. We want some of that. Give us some. But we know if we come after it, it comes with a whole package that we just don't want to deal. It's just not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not for that 8 seconds. Oh, that 8 seconds that we're trying to get in. That 8 seconds. That feeling. 8 seconds. Bang! That your whole spirit just changes. Bang! So many men have lost their lives for that 8 seconds. And men are hip to the game now. So they're just like, you know what? I'm going to go get a plastic doll. You have men who are marrying plastic dolls. Black men too. Yeah. 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 You lose all your money, lose your life. I mean, it's scary. They're taking you off the planet. I mean, you can get an older female. You can do that. But these younger ones, these younger tenderonis, don't do it. Don't do it. You're going to get trapped. And next thing you know, these young boys are going to come see you. They're going to come see you. They're going to be waiting for you. As soon as you go in the house, they're going to be waiting. And they're going to pull on you. And what are you going to do? You're going to give them your keys and your wallet. And they're gonna take your vehicle, and then they're gonna go do the same thing to somebody else. And you're gonna be, and if you tell who did it, you better hope they don't have your address, because they're gonna come to your address. That happened to a woman. She said that these guys were, causing trouble around the neighborhood. Well, they found out who it was that told the police that. And they came looking for her. And they lit her up right as she was playing outside with her kids. They lit her up. Nah, look, there are some beautiful women in this world. I mean, from 18 and up, there are some women that just make you. There are some women that'll make you mad. They're so damn good looking. It's like, come on, man. It's like, come on, Lord. You become Italian real quick. You're like, come on, Lord. What are you doing? You're like, I'm average. I ain't got no money. Look at her. Every man wants to mate with her. You know what I'm saying? But is it worth it? Do you really want to? No, because everybody wants her. Yeah, real grimy. I've been scared away recently. I've been scared away. Too many tattoos. You just don't know. You just don't want these young brothers knocking on your door. And then these females, they get low. I done had situations where I hit on a young tenderoni, and then, I call her. There's a bunch of noise in the background. A bunch of guys screaming and whatnot, and I'm like, I'm not doing this. I stopped calling her. Don't you know that girl got mad and them boys threatened me because I didn't want to talk to the girl anymore? This happened years ago, but seriously, I did not want to talk to her. That one phone call convinced me that I don't want nothing to do with you. Because I already know if I come pick you up, I got to deal with these knuckleheads. And I'm not trying to fight with nobody. No. She got mad at me. Why don't you call me no more? Because you're around a bunch of crazies. I'm not into that. I just thought you was cute. I'm not into that at all. Imagine if I give you some D. Oh, it's over. I'm not doing that. No, I'm not touching you. I'm not doing anything emotional with you whatsoever. I can't even buy you a biscuit. I can't do it. You'll get attached to me over the biscuit. Oh, no. There's no way I'm trying to do anything with you. I'm not taking you to the movies. No, nothing. No, I'm not doing it because I already know when you get upset. And I was already thinking, when I heard those dudes' voices, I was like, when she gets upset, these little dudes, they're going to be on a warpath. That's exactly what happened. And I didn't touch her. I only talked to her on the phone once. I was like, nope, I'm out. When she called again, once she left me a message, and I never answered her back because I already knew what it was. I was talking to her. Found out a girl I used to know, not slept with, just knew her. She lives right down the street from me. She saw me yesterday walking and was just like, yo, aren't you so? And I was like, yeah, what's up? We got to talking. She's telling me about her situation. And I told her, I said, you need an older man. And she was like, you know what? I do need an older man because, I need some help. I was like, yeah, it sounds like it. You got all this stuff going on that you're trying to get off. But you need some structure. You need help with this, you need help with that. You know what I'm saying? I said, you might need a sugar daddy. She's like, no, I couldn't be a sugar baby. They wouldn't want me, because she's very, strong mind and all this other yappity yap. Yeah, but if you in a financial situation, you know what I'm saying, and you need some money, you're gonna have to start asking somebody for it. That doesn't mean you gotta get naked, but you might have to keep somebody company. And I was like, look, you're beautiful. You better use it while you can. She was like, yeah, that's true. I better use it while I can. I mean, she's 29. That's still in that beautiful age. You better use that beautiful girl to shoot. Put on a nice dress, throw it on Instagram, and get some of these guys to jump in your DM and let them know what it is. Like, look, I'll go out with you, but I'm not trying to sleep with you. I'll be on your arm. I'm smart. I'm sophisticated. Yada yada yada. You can use me to present things like that. Or listen, I know some females. I used to be in marketing and promotion, and the females were killing it in the marketing promotion game. You know why? Car shows. The women killed the game in car shows. And every year, especially now that the world's opened back up, car shows make millions and millions and millions of dollars. And they pay fit, very feminine, very beautiful women. They pay them real good money just to stand there next to the automobile, because they know the guys are going to come over, look at the woman, look at the automobile, buy the automobile. Look, it's simple for us. We look at the female. We look at the female with the car. We look at the price of the car. If we can buy that car, we're thinking what? We can get a female who looks like that. You get a female who looks like that, and you're driving a car that looks like this, you are the man. That's how it is for us. It is peanut butter and jelly for us. It is ham and cheese. That is it. There's nothing else in between that. There's no extra space, in between that. It is simply, hey, hello. It is simply bam, bam. Good looking woman, good looking car. If we got the money, buy the car, we get the woman. That's it. Get the young woman, the 29-year-old, and you in your 50s. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, you'll spend that cheese. You'll spend that cheese in a heartbeat. You'll spend it in a heartbeat, because you're convinced that you can, and that's why car shows make so much money, because they appeal to the male ego. And we're not saying that it doesn't appeal to the female ego. You always gotta have a female in there. We're saying the market, it caters to men. When it comes to automobiles, it caters to men. And you put a pretty girl next to, or in, you put a pretty girl in a car, that car is going to get looked at more than any other car. Because guys are simple. We're not stupid, like a lot of these comedians are saying. Guys are not stupid. We're very smart. We just make things very, very, very simple in order so we can move on to the next issue. We don't spend a lot of time on one issue because we don't make it complicated. Boom, 2 + 2 is 4. Boom, there it is. Go on to the next problem. Solve the problem. Go on to the next problem. Because we don't have the luxury of time to sit here and multiply, divide, minus, subtract, multiply, and then to the third, who cares? We know what the answer is. Boom, there's the answer. Boom. If it's too complicated, we'll leave it. If a woman is too complicated, I don't care how fine she is. You're too complicated, boom. You have a lot of these Stepford wives out here who are now spinsters and divorcees. You know why? They decided to complicate their man's life. That's what they wanted to do. They got this feminism in their head that they are the new man. And the man is, he's a little punk. Well, I seen this one video where the wife left her dude, came back to the dude, but this how she came back. She went to his house and made this whole trail, and led all the way up to the backyard to a box, and she popped out the box, and he looked at her and said, "What are you doing here?" She was like, I'm the surprise, but he's like, "No, my girl's getting ready to come over." She's like, "I want to be together." He's like, "No, you left me. You left me. No, get out of my house." And he basically escorted her out the house. "No, you're yesterday's news." Like, no, I was married to you. You left me. I went and got somebody else, younger, and she's on her way here. You can, if you want to sit outside on the curb in your white dress, that's fine. But nah, the love is gone. You messed it up. He's out. So I wasn't even mad at him about it. I was looking like, I can't blame you, bro. She messed it up. You gotta go. So some of these, I be looking at these women like, you have a certain amount of time to get it right. You have only so many times where you can brush off somebody good. When you decide to brush that good dude off, that last time, and you're encroaching on 40, your attractiveness and ability to capture another good man like that is depleting by the second. Every second, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, your chances of getting married, not getting banged out, getting married to another good man, to where he's dedicated to you and making your life better, is depreciating. Yeah. It's called the law of diminishing returns. And that's what's happening. You're getting diminishing returns. So you may get a guy, but he ain't going to be nowhere near what you need. He's going to be nowhere near what you want. He's going to be what you need. He's going to fulfill a need. He'll give you some D once a month. He's not going to be that good looking. He's not going to cater to your everything. He doesn't care. He just needs you to be a woman. He just needs a female in the house, to do female stuff. So he can, say, "Hey, I have a woman. I'm married." And a lot of time, it's more of a business move than it is any "I love you." I mean, if he's saying vows, he's, doesn't mean them. But he's saying them because he has to. Like, yes, to have a new hole, let's get on with this. Oh, okay, bye. Okay, bye. I'll talk to you later. And you go do what you're doing, and he does what he's doing, but he's married now. So this gives him a leg up on the single man who is vying for the same position that he's vying for. Because now the company's looking at both of you two and going, "Well, Jeff is married and Tom isn't. Why do we need to give Jeff another $1,000, a month? Why? Jeff, you don't need it. You stay in a nice house and all, but, you're by yourself. You're dating. You date around. You don't even have a girlfriend. You have no responsibility to anyone." So they're going to be like, "Nah, we're going to go ahead and give it to, Tom, or whoever the guy is getting married that I mentioned. We're going to give it to him because he's married. He has children. He has a responsibility." And that's who they're going to give that money to. And that person's career is going to move on up the chains simply because he has a title. He has a wife. Because these men, who have wives, they want their wives to know each other. Because when they go to these functions, these wives are helping making some of these moves. If you got yourself a real smart one who knows the game, She isn't walking up to some man at one of these, parties where deals are being made and starts making a deal with the man. No, she makes a beeline towards the wife who of the dude who got the money. And she walks right over there and she befriends the hell out of that wife. And, they talk about whatever. She covers the whole kids and, and blah, blah, blah. How you doing? Any hospital issue. And she covers the freaking gambit. And she doesn't mention a word about business. She doesn't get in the business. She leaves the business to Tom. But her business is make nice with the locals. And that's what she does. And when the wife, listen, I've been in business for a minute. And in my business, the wife controls the money. When I pitch appliances, the men are the one who's buying the appliances, but a lot of times they say the wife this and the wife that and the wife this. If the wife doesn't, listen, a guy I sold a refrigerator to was looking for a stove, right? And he saw one he was asking me to find him one, but he saw one on Facebook. It was for $200. He says, I don't know about getting this one because, it's $200, but I need to check with the wife. And I said, bro, do you know how much that thing is brand new? The dog got loose. I said, do you know how much that thing is brand new? He's like, yeah, it's $1,100. But just the simple fact that he said, I need to check with the wife. And he knows he's getting a deal. He couldn't just go, I'm going to spend $200 and get this good-ass deal before it goes away. Not only that, the type of stove he was looking for, you don't find that often, especially used. You don't find it. And I was just thinking in my head, you have a great deal for $200 and you can't make that move without your wife saying something. So what I did was, when the wife came back in the door, I was like, yo, the stove that he's looking at, I said, you guys should buy that. I don't know how he was going to get around to it, but that's not my wife. So she can't hurt me. You know what I'm saying? As far as, the yes and no on that. And I told her, I said, this is a good deal. And she said, that's a good deal. I said, that is a great deal. Because one of these brand new is super expensive. I said, if that thing works, buy that one. And that was it. And that's all. So you gotta understand, this is why marriage is important to people in business. And especially if you get yourself a good wife who knows how to be a helpmate and a team player. This is why the young female is not younger female. The younger female will go into a classy party or something like that and will start shaking her ass and every man will want her. You will have to get rid of her. She'll smile at everyone who smiles at her. You'll have to get rid of her. Because you're going to start a war. Because somebody is going to come over and put their hands on her and you're going to have to defend her. Don't take the younger female unless she knows how to work a room. And young females usually don't know this because they're new to it. So if you're going to show up with a young female on your arm, you're going to have to train her before she goes in the door. Before she even gets anywhere near these vultures, you got to train her and be like, listen, this is how this goes. Knife, fork, spoon. You know what I'm saying? You got to train her and get her etiquette up and let her know how to say no, when to go to the powder room and when to stay the hell away from it, because there are men who are walking in there after you. Like, you got to train her to protect the ass, because that is the most valuable thing that she has, and those guys are going to gun for it. Some kind of way they're going to try to separate you two in order to get this girl in the corner somewhere. And it happens. It has happened to me. Trust me, I'm not making it up. You walk in a place with a nice looking woman, there are guys who are staring at you, woman. I've had it happen to me, and they end up leaving with that woman. They convinced her to go home with them. And that was that for our relationship. That was that. Now, it wasn't my girl, it was just a girl I was just dating whenever I came into town. But yeah, I mean, but if that was my woman, oh, I would have had to fight those dudes. I would have had to literally fight those dudes over my woman. So if you get you gotta teach women how to act around men. Because if they don't know how to act, you're gonna end up with scars on you. Yeah, or you might end up dead. Period. Dot. Guys will do whatever. They don't have no respect if they see you with a fine woman. Even in the Bible, it talks about that. That's why there's so much talk about how a woman should act, because a fine woman is dangerous. If you're looking at, and I don't get into this too much, but if you look at a lot of world star hip hop, and you look at a lot of some of the deaths that happened recently between the young men, popular young men, and like I said, I'm not gonna mention their names. You thought it was because they were running around with a bunch of guys doing crazy stuff. Turns out, both times, it was because of a woman. It was because of a woman. They're stretched out on the sidewalk and on or wherever they're at, and it all happened simply because of a woman. So you gotta be careful. If you're messing with these females, you gotta be careful. You just do. Like I said, I don't want to get into it because I don't want none of that trouble. But it was because of a woman, and it's just like, it doesn't surprise me. I done been through some stuff just because of a female. I bring I go to a spot, certain people don't talk to me. I bring a fine woman in, everybody wants to talk to me. I've even had women do that. I come in the door, none of the women want to talk to me. I know one of the finest women in there, all the females want to talk to me. Females they can be very, very valuable, or they can be a whole headache and a detriment to you. And if you don't know what kind of female it is, it's best that you go home and call it a night. You get the hell out of where you're at. If you got a bunch of guys staring at you, you better believe they're going to give you the business before you get out that door, and or when you get in the parking lot. You walk out that door with that woman that they want, they're going to approach her. I've had guys approach my woman while she's holding my hand because the goofy chick kept looking around and smiling at them. So what do they think? I'm going to take your woman. Oh yeah, I've had it happen. And I'm ordering us, drinks and whatnot, and I'm holding this dumb woman's hand, and she's sitting there smiling at another dude, and I turn around and I lost my damn mind. I lost my whole grip. I lost it. You ain't gonna disrespect me like that. I lost my grip. Nah, not me. Not me. So yeah, I've had some very disrespectful women in my day. The thing about it is, I valued them in different ways. Like, that particular woman was of value to me because she made good money, and I ain't have any. So she was helping me out. At one time, actually, when I met her, I was homeless. So she let me live with her. But because she let me live with her, she never respected me. Never. Never respected me. Not once. Every time we went out, it was all about getting another man's attention. She never had respect for me. But I needed her because I didn't have nowhere else to go. And eventually, I got on my feet and I separated from her. And she wanted me to stick around. And I was just like, no. I'm going to start dating other people because you don't respect me. There's nothing I can do. You can keep giving me money, though. I'll take it. And she did. You know what I'm saying? She give me money, I'll take it. She take me out to a nice place to eat. I wouldn't even have to order my food. I didn't have to talk to the waiter or waitress. I would out of respect, but sometimes I wouldn't. I would just sit there. I wouldn't have to pick up the menu or nothing because she already knew what I wanted. I just wait till she handled business, and then she, when a waiter or waitress come over, they would speak, and they would speak to her, and I'd just be looking at her, and let me get this dude right. What apartment you looking for?
Apartment D.
Nope. I live in apartment D by myself, so I didn't order no food.
Is this 148?
Yeah, apartment D. Yeah, I ain't order no food, homie.
All right.
Not unless somebody order food from me. Did they pay for it already?
Yes. Is your name Terry?
My name is Tony.
You know somebody named Terry?
I don't know anybody named Terry.
All
Terry or Terrence?
Terry Reynolds.
Terry Reynolds. Well, it definitely ain't the people who live next to me because they're Hispanic. There ain't no Terrys in Espanol.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see. It ain't my man next door. Terry Reynolds. I don't know any. Might be somebody who just moved in.
I
That
think I might be on the wrong road. That's why actually.
yeah.
So this is 148. It's like the 148 on the.
Yeah, okay. I'll eat their food though. Had some people one time bring some food and just dropped it off in front of my door. Shoot. Some island food. Just dropped it off in front of my door. I was just like, shoot, I'll eat it. But yeah, so, when it comes to females, be careful. And if you're a female out here, I don't care what age you are, if you want to step your game up and start dealing with men who are actually out here making moves. And let me say this. A lot of times you hear men talk about women, we talk about younger women. But when it comes to the older, like I've had women who were older than me and they were amazing. I was dating a woman who was 60, she was like 62 when I was 43. She was amazing. And I messed that up. I mean, this woman was amazing. I want to say this. If you want to better your situation, start learning how to be classy. This is not to say that you're not classy. This is saying that we could all learn something more about class. Now, this coming from a nappy head dude sitting in his car. But listen to the reasoning. I'm not trying to step up my game into the class world. I'm fine what I'm doing. As a matter of fact, the street is where I'm getting money from. Driving around here and watching people move in and out helps me get money. Because when they move, they leave their trash out. And there's certain things in their trash that I can take and then go and resell and make money. Okay? So that's one reason why I really like living here, even though I might have to move because my neighbor's an idiot. He keeps trashing my car. But that's one reason why I like to live here, because there is a lot of transition here in this apartment complex. And when they do that, also remodeling, I get the stove, the fridge, and I take it up and boom, sell it on Facebook, or I go ahead and I sell it on Facebook, or I go ahead, take it to the junkyard, sell it, yada, yada, yada. What I'm trying to say is I make money on the street level. Now, I am looking at using my degree to start to get into something in healthcare where I'm in control. I don't want nobody else to be able to fire me, but I want to be able to start my own little business, doing something. I don't know. It'll be something in healthcare. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I need to do something. Just get a little something going on where it's not hurting me, not hurting my back. I can make a little money on the side and I can just do this until I don't want to do it no more. And of course, all the money that I make, I can take it and do what? Put it into the stock market, put it into an index fund. What I'm saying is, if you're dating someone and you think that you can do better than that someone, and or you think that you and that someone can do better, then you both need to step up your class. Because sometimes you don't want to get rid of whoever you're dating because they're good people, but you're like, we could do better than this. You know, we can go to Bermuda if we want to, but Bermuda round trip $6,000 a person. How are you going to be able to afford that? So you put that ahead of you. You're like, we can do that. You and I can do that. We got to get ourselves into a better situation. We got to create a drive in us. We just can't keep working at the same job and them having control over us. We need to take control. And when you start doing that, you start stepping up your class game. That's just as simply just the way it is. If I want to step up my class game right now, I go ahead and do voluntary work within my field. It's just simple as that. I go out, I start doing voluntary work, maybe as an ombudsman, or maybe I do voluntary work for some of these places that are set up for all these healthcare facilities, and just go ahead and do voluntary work. Do that for, I don't know, a month or two. Somebody's going to be like, okay, we want to know more about you because you've been volunteering and volunteering. And then they hit you with the questions, you know, are you looking for a job? And then, of course, that all depends on how much money it is. If it's a job that I know that I'm going to make $60,000 and more, absolutely. Yeah, I'm looking for a job. Fine. Especially if it's a job that's going to give me the experience that I need where I can eventually branch off and be my own person. Where I don't have to have you for a boss, where you can take away the same thing that you gave me. These people can't take away your experience, but they can take away the job because it's not your job. You're just there temporarily. I don't care what job it is. You are really there temporarily, in control of it. If they don't want you to work there that day, guess what? You're not working. There are ways of getting around it, especially in Ohio. It's an admirable state. So you can step up your class. You can be like, okay, this is my profession. This is what I do. This is the classes I've taken. Yada, yada. This is where I work. But, things seem to be a little, whatever. So I'm going to start doing this on the weekend online. I'm going to start moonlighting. I'm going to do this after hours. I'm gonna start doing video conferences of the same thing. That's what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna see how it works on the weekend. See who picks up on it, and next thing you know, boom! People find out that this is what you do, and they're gonna start working around you to your schedule. You're like, I work a 9 to 5. I'm home at 6. I can be online from 7 o'clock to 10 o'clock at night. Boom! Next thing you know, people are hiring you for your expertise. They really will. They're hiring you for your expertise, for your social content, for your, just your basic know-how, or how did you even start to get into where you're at? They're just like, how did you start that? What did you do? You just went on to Facebook and, oh, what was your contacts? Blah, 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 blah. And they're paying you for this information. Stepping up your class. Boom. Next thing you know, when you feel like you have enough experience, you're sitting at maybe 65,000 a year. You're like, 65 ain't bad. That's well above average. It's good money, in the pocket. But you guys still control my 65. You control it. Next thing you know, your side business doing the same thing is knocking off 30,000 a year. You're like, okay. 2 months later, 45,000 a year. You're like, all right, all right, all right. You look at your fixed income, 45,000 a year covers everything that you need and some, and some. You're like, okay, so you're working and your side business is booming. You can stay there and do that, or you can put more into your side business. Next thing you know, your side business becomes your real business, and you decide, you know what? If I worked 2 more days on my side business would knock down about $90,000 a year. Boom, adios. You say goodbye. You was knocking off 65. It was cool, but you understand that it wasn't yours. Now you're knocking off 90. You throw another day on it, adds fuel to the fire. You're knocking off 110,000 doing what you do, what you love on your own time. And that's just that. You stepped up your class. Now you stepped up your class as far as the number is concerned, because everything is a number. You know what I'm saying? And now you can move into a different social class because now you're making over 100 grand a year. And if you fine tune that, if you tweak it a little bit, and then you add on, you know, maybe a venture over here, a real estate venture over here, throw 10% a round at somebody. You finance somebody an a round over here. You throw $10,000 over here. You got money coming from all ends. That $110,000 just turned into $200,000 a year. And what's really cool about it is now that it turned into 200 G's, you're actually working less because you invested. And then if you're still living in the same place that you were where you were making 45,000, guess what? Now you're making 200,000, so your 145,000 that you're making, your 145,000 that you're making, you can throw all of that into an index fund. I mean, think about that. Think about throwing $100,000 a year into an index fund. I mean, let me say this: an index fund that tracks the S&P gives you 6 to 10% a year on average. 6 to 10%. You take $100,000 and you throw it into an index fund. You get 6 to 10% off of that a year. That's not going to take too much longer before you're a millionaire. And listen, once you get 100 grand and you put in an index fund, you're now living off of the index fund. It covers all your bills. That's the real goal. That's the real goal. The real goal is not to work until you're 65. The real goal is to work until you can put 100 grand into an index fund. Because once you do that, that index fund automatically pays you enough to pay all of your bills. I mean, if you live within reason. And then, of course, the next year, if you do the same thing and you put 200 grand into the same index fund, you're what's 6% of let's see, what it's 60, 600, 60, 6,000. So it's, what is it, 6,000? 10% off of 100 grand that's 60,000? No, it's 6,000. It's $6,000. So it's $6,000 a year, and then the next year, so it'd be what, $12,000? So, no, am I wrong? Yeah. No, it's $12,000, and then the year after that, yeah, if you do it again, it is 12, 18. So it's $18,000. The poverty line in Ohio is $17,000. It just it that's where you should be. You shouldn't be, I'm gonna work until I'm 65. No. You work until your index fund pays your fixed cost. That's really what you're working towards. And then once it does that, you don't stop working. What you do is you can get it to where, okay, this year it pays all my rent. It can pay all my rent, right? Every month. I've made enough to where it can cover all my rent. Now I have to keep putting into it. So now it won't only cover my rent, it'll cover any other expense I have within reason. So a flat tire, anything like that. And it also puts money into my savings. So for me, the amount that I would have to have in order to cover everything that I need is $450,000 into an index fund. $450,000. Okay, so how am I doing that without? How do I do that without working a regular job? Go away. Oh, damn bugs. How do I do that without working a regular job? Well, here's how you do it. All my petty cash money goes into the stock market. And when I wake up on the weekdays, on the weekdays, I study the stock market and I look at what stocks are doing what. If I have any funds that are constantly going down, I get out of that fund and I look at the funds I look at any stock that's going up and I look at how much is going up for the day, the week, the month, and the year. My favorite stock right now is Moderna because Moderna is going up 5% every day. And Friday, it went up to 11%. So my ALP, MLP, which is my Alarian fund, which is a fund that is in the fuel market, I took all my money out of that, boom, and I put all of it into Moderna, boom, made $400, just like that. It's a regular job, is what I'm trying to say. Then at the end of the day, you take that and you close it out by going, okay, I gained 390 whatever dollars, sell it all. Boom, sell it. When Monday opens up 9:30 and it comes in, buy. You buy. And it jumps up another 5%. Boom. I don't know what 5% of whatever I got right now. So you make another $400, $500 for that day, and you hoping that it jumps up, but I think it will actually. So, and if it jumps up 10%, it's even greater. But when it starts to decline, let's say it jumps up all the way to 11% like it did before, and then it starts to decline, right? When it starts to decline, go ahead and sell. It's going to go from 11, drop all the way down to 7%. Now you can keep your money in there and be just fine because it's going to go right back up. But what you do is play the dips. It's going to go down. It's going to hit about 7%. It's going to go about 7.3, 7.2. Then it's going to go 7.3, 7.2, 7.31, 7.2, 7, 7.4, 7.5. It's on its way back up. You buy. You buy at 7.5, it goes all the way back up to 10. You just made another $400. It is just beautiful. It is just beautiful, and it's that easy. It is a full-time job just to watch that one stock that day do its thing. I made more money watching that one stock that day than I would have going out and junking and taking 2 trips to the junkyard. I made more money just watching my phone and going, buy, sell, buy, sell. And that is the nature of that business. It's your boy Tone 202. God loves you and so do I. Peace.